Now, the law is there for a reason,
Okay.
right? And to register a business, you have a number of options. It can be a business name.
Okay.
It can be a limited liability.
Okay.
It can be limited by guarantee.
Okay.
It can be a limited partnership. The
Okay.
limited partnership is a recent innovation
Okay.
under the CAMA 2020.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have the not-for-profit
Okay.
NGOs.
Yes, NGOs. Hey, beautiful people, you're welcome to another episode of the Ercas Business Podcast. I'm your host today. My name is Gideon, and with me is
Olatunji Taylor.
today we have fantastic guest in person of barrister Tolu Olatunji.
Ooh.
And you know what it is when we have a legal person in the house,
Yes,
we're about to
so-
set your book straight, set your thoughts straight, and
Mhm.
help you avoid those legal pitfalls that you might fall into
Mhm.
as you navigate the world of business. Barrister Tolu, it's great to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. But to quickly correct something,
Okay.
barrister is not a title.
Mm.
We
Mhm.
have sort of adopted it,
Okay.
but it's not proper to say barrister so.
Okay.
So I'm Mr.
Mr.
Lecture
Tolu
101.
Olatunji or Tolu Olatunji Esquire.
Esquire. That's
Yeah.
the part I wanted to hear. Okay. So
Thank you.
reintroduction. Mr. Tolu Olatunji Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on the set today. Today we're talking about the legalities, the legal processes around building and running a creative business in Nigeria, right? We have ideas, right? You think your business is fantastic. You think you found a partner. You think you hired the best staff. You run your business. 3-4 years down the line, someone else does the exact same thing that you're doing, and then what options are there for you? Did you trademark your idea? Was it ever a registered business in the first place? Was it all family and friends? Was it vibes and inshallah? So today we're going to be looking at the different areas, the different legal implications of whatever it is you're getting into as a business, and it will be leading us and guiding us through this process as we ask questions, and he also gives some context, right? So the first question: why does registering a business matter? Why do I need to register my business?
Okay, so because it's the law,
Okay.
for starters, right? It's based on the law.
Okay.
Now, the law is there for a reason,
Okay.
right? And to register a business, you have a number of options. It can be a business name.
Okay.
It can be a limited liability.
Okay.
It can be limited by guarantee.
Okay.
It can be a limited partnership. The limited partnership is a recent innovation under the CAMA 2020.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have the not-for-profit NGOs.
Yes, NGOs.
We call them, NGOs basically.
Okay.
Not-for-profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so it means every entity, if you're running business or doing business in Nigeria, regardless of whatever variant, the law requires that you must register a business.
You're required to register your business with the CAC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do I know what kind of business to register? You mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah.
So there's sole proprietorship, there's partnership. How do I know what kind of business if I want to register my business today?
And the name I was looking for NGOs is incorporated trustees.
Incorporated trustees. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So typically it's for institutions that run without making profit. They don't do business. So they render services to the community, initiatives. You have religious institutions.
Okay.
Yeah, they're registered under incorporated trustees.
Okay.
Yes. Now, to decide on which path to choose, it's a factor of a number of things. Primarily, it is where you are currently.
Okay.
And where you see yourself. How far do you think you want to go?
The business wants to go. Okay.
So the lowest of registration is a business name. That people call ventures, enterprise, and all whatnot.
Okay.
Technically, it is barely registration. It is not incorporation.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? When you incorporate, you're separating the person from the business.
Okay.
But when you register a business name, it is you basically trading by yourself, but you now have a name that you can use
to trade.
it does not amount to a trademark. But, it takes away that Tolu Olatunji. As a matter of fact, you can register your business as Tolu Olatunji Enterprises.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But, and the way we express it legally, when you need to maybe do a document, you need to file an action, it will be Tolu Olatunji trading under the name and style of. So there's no cloak. There's no separation of the person from the business. What incorporation gives you is it takes the person away from the business. So when there are issues, they go after the business, not the person.
I see.
Although you can lift the veil, right? So you can register a company and do something stupid with it and then come and say, oh, it's the company, it's not me. The law will lift that veil that, okay, who are the promoters? Who is the person behind this company? Which will still make you liable. But for continuity, for succession planning, for sustainability, if you start a business with the intention for the business to outlive you, you register a limited liability. Because if you have Ajanle Coco and Sons, it means it's Ajanle Coco and the Sons. The moment Ajanle Coco passes, the son. So who comes after? So that's that about incorporation, business name. And of course, like I mentioned with incorporated trustees, your residence associations, or any corporate body that is not in business to make profit. That is what they use.
Okay. I think I want to touch briefly on the limited partnership. You said it's a new introduction.
Yes. So, under the old law, partnerships do not incorporate. Right. So partnerships are basically, in business name, you have the sole proprietorship, which is one man. And then you have the partnerships. So it is an enterprise, so to say. It's a business name with a number of people in it. Right. So they share liability equally. They are personally liable. I mean, there are some complexities to it actually, because you can have in the partnership, you have some people in the managerial position of the partnership. While some are sort of silent, so to say.
I see.
The level of liability will vary with that. But with SCAMA 2020, you can now incorporate a partnership. Right. So it's still a partnership, but it now has that cloak of a juristic entity separate for the individuals in the partnership. Yes.
I see. So ideally, creative businesses like online vendors, for example, what best suits them in terms of registration?
Like I said, it depends on where you are.
In the state of your business.
I would advise typically when you're starting out for tax reasons, majorly, you can start with a business name. The beauty is you can always change. You can register as a business name, and after a while, when you realize that you need to, put in more structure, maybe you're bringing in funding, you're bringing in new investors, or you're collaborating, you're gaining partners and all, and you feel, you know what, let's make this thing an incorporated entity, right? So you can apply to register the same name as a limited
so like a change of business type.
Yes, you can do that. So like I said, typically you can start as a business name, right?
You can move.
But also there are limitations, major limitations to operating under a business name. Right.
Maybe three major limitations.
The major limitation is you are seen as one man, one show, right? You may have limitations with funding. Right.
Important.
You may have limitation with, attracting investors into your business. Because the intendment or intention around incorporation is it's believed that it's not one person. So if in the entity there is a director that is, not doing the right thing, there will be someone else to be like, do this. Right. So for funding purposes, for a level of protection for yourself, right? And then, of course, if you intend to have something that would outlive you
for posterity,
it's better to have incorporate.
Okay, so now should I say nowadays though? But now you see that CSC registration is everywhere, and for small business owners, once they are done with the CSC registration, they believe they are now the Lord,
CEO.
Master CEO, CTO, and everything. So what are the common legal mistakes that creatives make and they think, oh, I've done the legal part. Funny enough,
Correct.
most of these people would not even go through the the legal part. They just
Properly.
use an agent that does not even
Yeah.
understand the basic of it. They just tell them, are you the owner of the business? Yes, I'm the
Yes.
CEO, I'm the CTO,
Yes.
and they don't explain these things
Ah,
explicitly to
I
them.
see.
So the common legal mistakes creatives make.
So, I mean, incorporation is like the first step, very, very basic,
Alright.
bare minimum, you know.
Mm.
I mean, my understanding of it would not make me excited about, okay, registering a business, right?
Okay.
But of course, it's because I understand.
understand.
I mean, you paid
Yeah.
30,000. People post it on their status. My business is now
The
registered.
certificate.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, so it is the fact that everybody wants that cloak of affirmation and confirmation by the law. Like I told you, you know, the law requires that you register.
Register a business.
All right. So when you get that registration done, people are likely to be more comfortable doing business
Dealing
with
with
you.
the business.
Right. You'll see people state that our business is registered with CAC, so we cannot be a scam. That's a lie. I mean, one of the biggest vehicles for fraud is registered businesses, companies, and all. Because especially for companies, if you have the right resources, you can layer the company so much that they won't even be able to know exactly
the
who is the person
original
behind this. So it can be useful for. But now coming to your question, the first step is your registration rights, but there are tax obligations. There are compliance regulatory obligations, depending on your line of business, right? There are other factors such as your intellectual property, right? You know, you'd see someone register a business name, Tolu Multilinks, right? And then somebody else uses the same name, and then you have a problem with the person and you want to sue. Now, here's the question: if you only register as a business name, and you did not trademark,
Okay.
the trademark, the person who trademarks first may supersede yours. Right. So it is one thing to register a business name. It does not equal to trademark.
Trademark your name or brand or
Right.
something.
And that's one mistake a lot of businesses do. They don't trademark. I don't really blame them. The process of trademarking in Nigeria is supposed to be simple, but you know, there are some, the process is not as straight and seamless as the CAC registration, right? And then there's not a lot of buzz around it. It is when somebody else is, impersonating or passing off that people, start talking about it. And of course, the law does not require that you trademark. It is you that wants the protection for yourself, that you trademark. All right. And then, of course, there's your intellectual property as to what do you call it now? If it's your recipe, your trade secrets, and all whatnot. Those are things that
file those as
patents.
I see. So we're going to lean on licensing, right? Because in the creative industry, the product more often than not is not physical. It's usually tangible in the sense of I'm a makeup artist, for example. I have my process that differs from every other person's process, or I'm a food vendor. I make my food with a certain spice. So are you saying we can trademark or patent those trade secrets in that sense?
So patenting is it's way more than that.
Advanced,
right? For patent, it means you invented something
that never existed before.
Okay. Or you improved on something that exists, right? So, but it is original to you, right? And it's a process that you can demonstrate.
Like if you're ever called to prove it, you can always with consistent results.
And then it is not just an idea; it is something that you've put to test
over time.
You get you've put to test. You can demonstrate it, as a process that is different from what is obtainable. So yes, that's possible. And also for copyrights, creatives in that space, arts, music, and all. You cannot copyright an idea. You must have expressed it. In a way. You must have expressed it in a way. And then, of course, it can be verified.
I see.
I
see. So key takeaway for me is that whatever intellectual property you're trying to maybe protect, it must have been expressed. You
Yes,
can't
yes,
say
no,
this
no,
on
no.
top of my head and then I
Mhm.
want to patent this particular thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so how what's the, like I've said, the process may be a little strenuous compared to registering a business, but what's the quick and fast about trademarking or filing an IP or filing a patent? Is there a process that folks can leverage or take
Yeah.
advantage of?
So for trademarking, that's pretty easy.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
You approach the trademark office.
There is a trademark office
Yes,
separate from
yes, yes.
CAC.
It's under the
Okay.
Federal Ministry of Trades.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you approach the office. You
Okay.
show them your mark that you want to
That you
register.
want. Okay. Mark in this case can be a symbol, a logo,
It can be a symbol. It can be a
a
name.
word.
The
Okay.
only thing is it can't be descriptive.
Okay.
For example,
Okay.
Tolu chicken noodle. You can't trademark that.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
But you can trademark if it's something unique, peculiar.
Okay.
You can trademark
Maybe the
that
first
head
in that
name.
field. I see.
You get what I'm saying? And
I
then, of
see.
course, a mark.
Okay.
And then you have to be sure that it's not been trademarked before. If not used it or it's not similar to an existing mark.
And this is done by the trade office. They can
Yes,
verify
you can do the
if
check.
all of this exists.
Yes, you can do the check.
So what about those sorry, I don't know if you're familiar with Ibadan very well. You know
Okay.
this Uncle Joe where they print things and all,
Okay.
and they have their maybe they call it trademark.
Okay.
Their names, they are into graphics designing,
Oh,
for
okay.
example.
Okay.
And you see them put their name at the back of their work.
Whatever they've
What
done.
is that? Is that also-
Okay, so that is copyright, I think. What you're trying to, if you do a piece of art,
Yeah.
or you express something in a document,
Okay.
you do not need to register where it's protected.
Mm.
So if you do a music recording today,
Okay.
Hmm?
By default.
it gains protection once expressed. If you do an
Okay.
artwork,
Okay. Okay.
the moment you're done, it gains
It's protection.
protection of the law the moment you're done with it. So it's
Okay.
different from trademark and
Okay.
patenting that you need to go and register
file.
somewhere.
I see.
You get, so that's the thing with copyright.
Okay. Okay.
Upon expression is protected.
Okay.
But you can now register it with the Nigerian Copyright Commission in Nigeria, for example.
Okay.
You can register it. They just give it a number.
I see.
So if you want to check, you can always go there.
To
But
confirm
it
that
does
it's
not
copyrighted.
mean that if you express something and somebody comes to do the same thing, you can actually go after the person.
Which was the next question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
What processes are available if I see that something that I have trademarked or copyrighted is being exploited? What processes are available for me to then seek legal redress?
You go to court. Get your lawyer.
Pretty straightforward.
Go to court.
Okay.
And it's like you said, it's actually straightforward. Really, it's the Federal High Court or
Okay.
issues like that.
Okay.
This is my work. This is what the
It's
person has
similar.
done. It is similar, and
Okay.
these are the similarities.
Okay.
Once you can establish
From
that,
case. I see.
That's-
I see. That's very, very valuable. Small business owner. The ideas are in your head. You can't trademark them. You can't copyright them up until you express them, right? So whatever ideas, and the interesting thing about ideas is as it's given to you, it's also given to a million other people.
Yeah.
So the earlier you express and put some patent or some copyright or some trademark on it, the better it is for you, right? There are instances where an exact same storyline, two people have the same storyline. Whoever writes it first makes it into a movie, copyrights or trademarks, it gets to make all the money.
Yeah.
Finally, before we let you go, we want to discuss compliance contracts in a business, right?
Okay.
As a small business starting up today, what are the major legal contracts that have to be in place? Myself, my employees, amongst us as partners, what major contracts and why? Like why are we entering into these agreements? Why are we specifying these terms clearly? What's just maybe 2 or 3 of
And
them?
also, why is it that word of mouth cannot pass?
It's not binding.
It's not binding.
Okay, so it can be binding.
Okay.
It just becomes a problem when the other party decides to be
To say
dishonest.
I didn't hear.
If all
Okay.
people keep to the terms of an agreement, you probably will never need to write anything
Any
down.
contract.
And of course, lawyers' brief will reduce. Lawyers got to eat, right? So, but people can be,
Funny.
dishonest, not straightforward, not keep to the ends of, the bargain,
Correct.
greedy, selfish.
True.
So that gives birth to, you have a transaction with someone. You can have conversations. But the moment, so we start out often than not with an NDA, right?
Okay,
A
okay.
non-disclosure agreement,
Okay.
which is we're having a conversation now. You can't take anything from this conversation to, at a third party or try and go and execute the same thing and all whatnot. Non-circumvention,
Okay.
So for businesses, if you for whatever it is you do, really,
An NDA
as long as there are obligations on both parts, you
Yeah.
need to clearly declare what your intentions are, the purpose of the contract or the
Conversation.
transaction. What are the obligations of each party?
Okay.
The deliverables. What timeline are they to deliver?
Okay.
What happens if you
If
do
they
not
don't,
deliver within
okay.
time?
Okay.
What happens if you don't deliver at all?
Okay.
If we start and I feel like, you know what, it's not looking the way I want, how do I get out of it? Termination.
Okay.
Right.
That's also
What law would govern
this entire agreement?
when there's a dispute?
How do
we resolve it?
Say.
So it clearly defines what is expected of both parties and the consequences of failure to, play your own part or deliver on your own end of the bargain, right? So now, what I just expressed now trickles down to your third-party contract, your employment contract. It's the same thing, really. The terms are just be different. Like for unemployment, now, if you want to terminate, this is the procedure to follow. In termination, in simple contract, you can just say, I'm not doing again, as long as there are no outstanding obligations, no on-end fees, no fees or no outstanding fees to be paid and all that. You can, sever the relationship. But, in contracts of employment, depending on the nature of the employment, there are clear times where you give me notice for 2 months, you give me notice for a month. Right. If it's an employment with statutory flavor, it's, there are some contracts like that. Right? It's the law. The law would define the clear steps to follow in. Typically, when I get consulted for, we want to terminate this person, this is the issue. Okay, we want to dismiss or something, because there's a difference between termination and dismissal. One of the first things I ask for is, do you have an employee's handbook? Right, because the contract of employment will have some of the information you require, but it will be too bulky to have everything in every offer letter, employment offer letter. So there's an employee's handbook that determines all the rules that binds the employee. Right. So you can make reference to it in your offer letter. And then if there are issues, you reference it. Right. So there is, for contracts, there's, your employees, you have contracts with them. If you are using a space that you're renting, there's a tenancy. If, you have vendors,
you can also have
contract. There's contract with vendors. Your investors contract. You have partners. Right. So there could be founders agreement, it could be a partnership agreement and all that, because a lot of people start out with words of mouth. And it goes good until you start making money. And that's when the problem starts. Right. And when the chips are down, it's the document that speaks. So if you have verbal understanding and you have nothing written, it becomes your words against mine. And you'll be shocked that people will enter the witness box, all the Holy Bible and all the Quran and all whatnot, and lied through their teeth. Unfortunately. So, but the documents, once it's there, it's proper. It's for a contract that is not prohibited by the law. You can ask the court to enforce it.
That's very detailed, and business owners, legal documentation, legal contracts are important. There's a non-disclosure agreement, like you said. There's a lot of contracts whose sole aim is to protect you as a business owner. So the earlier you learn about these things, listen to this podcast episode again, find out what those details are, so that you can always protect yourself.